In today's class, we're learning and leaning into that inner sense of strength, that inner knowing that is within all of us. We're going to be leaning into body awareness and using the breath to really come to rest in our own bodies and hopefully start connecting with that inner sense of knowing that's going to be so important for you throughout pregnancy, throughout birth, but also into motherhood as well. So I want you to bring yourself to a comfortable seat to get started. That might be sitting cross-legged like myself. If you prefer, you could sit up on a block. I often find for my women in classes that sitting a little bit higher than the knees can make it feel a bit more comfortable, especially if this part of your body is quite tight. So find something that works for you. If this isn't good, take the legs out straight. You could even come to a chair for this practice as we get started. I want you to rest the palms upward. Roll the shoulders back and down. Really allow yourself to come into your body at the start of our practice here. If it feels okay to do so, you can close down the eyes. And let the breath just move as it usually will, its own rhythm, not changing it at this point. Just noticing and following that rise and fall of the breath. Noticing where your body connects with the mat, with the floor. If you're using a block like myself, where your sit bones connect with the block. It'll be a really subtle movement. If someone was watching on, they may not even see you move, but it's an inner feeling of pressing down and lifting up. Can you allow your shoulders to get heavy, your face to relax, and really consciously softening this belly? So we're often told to hold the belly in. See if you can relax all the muscles of the belly. Let everything hang. Letting yourself be comfortable in your body. And see if you can make your breath just 10% deeper. So not straining or pushing, just allowing 10% more into the body. And as you rest here in this awareness of breath and of body, of grounding and connection to the earth beneath you, know that this place is accessible for you at any part of your day, throughout any part of your pregnancy. You can come back to and connect with this sense of stability and groundedness. This sense of calm just by extending the breath by 10%. No matter what the changes your pregnancy brings to your body, to your daily rhythms, to your energetics, to your relationships, to your career, know that this part here can remain unchanged, can remain steady and calming, helping you settle and connect with this beautiful baby growing within you, and hopefully helping you find the ability to embrace and accept all the changes as they come. Throughout our practice today, we're going to come back to this connection to earth and to breath, to hopefully build this trust. Trust in the body, in our connection, trust in the breath, and finding that inner knowing that our body knows the way. When you're ready to flutter open the eyes, come off any props that you're using, And come up and over into your tabletop. We're coming into our cat-cow. So just like in our seated position, our focus here is on our connection with the earth. So spread all 10 fingers on the mat. Feel the tops of the feet pressing into the floor. Gently draw the elbows in. Inhale, lift the tail, lift the head. As you exhale, press the floor away. Round through that upper back. Maybe even rock back towards the heels if that feels nice. Keeping that connection with the floor, pressing into the feet. Inhale, lift the tail, lift the head. Maybe it feels good to take a big sigh out through the mouth as we let go this time. Good. Inhale, rise the tail, rise the head. Out through the mouth or out through the nose, up to you. Last one here. Inhale, lift the tail, lift the head. Keep your awareness on that connection with the floor. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, press the floor away, and return the spine to neutral. Let's walk the hands away from the body. How far you go will increase how much you feel the stretch. So if you're feeling like maybe your shoulders are a little bit tight today and you need a little bit less, feel free to step the hands in. And then on the exhale, gently allow the chest to lower down, but keep all 10 fingers pressing into the mat. So rather than coming into a real passive puppy, we're keeping it quite active by pressing into those hands. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Stay conscious of your connection through the knees. And maybe it feels nice to move with the breath here, keeping the hands pressed into the floor. Inhale, rise the chest slightly, and then exhale, lower it down. Inhale, rise. Exhale and lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Rise up slightly and walk the hands over to the left side, just to the outside of the mat. And then see if you can sit back towards the heels, creating this nice long line from the right wrist all the way down to the right hip. Again, soften the head down so the head and neck are relaxed. And then keep this active pressure, this connection from wrist to hip by pressing that right hand into the mat and letting that right hip become heavy. Keep drawing it back towards the heels. As you inhale, lift up. Walk the hands all the way over to the opposite side. Both hands slightly off the mat, and then exhale, gently draw the hips back towards the heels. Keep pressing that left hand into the mat. Let the head rest down, no tension through the neck. Just breathing here. Good. Inhale, lifting back up. Walk the hands back through center, tuck the toes, and slowly peel the hips back to your downward facing dog. Pedaling it out here, pressing the floor away. You can keep a really generous bend through the knees if your hamstrings are quite tight, like mine are. Lift the hips to the sky. Keep pressing through all 10 fingers, through the palms. And then just feel that gentle, energetic pull down through the heels, creating that stretch from the hip all the way down to the back of the heels. Let the belly be soft here, the face relaxed. So parts of our body are really active and working, and then see if you can soften into those that aren't needed. Slowly walk those hands all the way back to meet the feet. I want you to bend generously into the knees, so you're almost at a seated position with the legs. So the upper body is just going to hang over. And then slowly start to straighten the legs, only to the point at which your legs will allow. But still the upper body hangs heavy and relaxed. Slowly rise yourself all the way up, stacking vertebrae on top of each other, rolling the shoulders back and down. And then bring your hands to your hips and step your right leg all the way forward as we then turn and find our goddess pose. So all 10 toes are pointing out. You might bring the hands onto the thighs if that feels good, as we start to sway it out here. So keep your focus on your connection with the earth. So really pressing down through all 10 toes, the heels, the ball of the foot, and then bring your awareness to the breath as you gently rock from side to side. As you inhale, straighten the legs, and then as you exhale, sink back in. If you want to, you could add the arms on. Inhale as we rise. And exhale as we sink. Inhale as we rise. Exhale and sink. Inhale, rise. Exhale and sink. Good. Bring the hands back to the hips as we straighten up the legs. Turn the toes to face forward. Take a big breath into the heart, maybe even shifting the gaze to the sky. And then exhale, fold from the hips. Bring the hands underneath the chest. If the floor is too far away because your hamstrings are quite tight, you could bring a block or a bolster underneath the hands just to bring that floor a little bit closer towards you. And then I want you to soften in. So once more relaxing through the head and neck. Stay focused where you're connected to the earth. So press into the outer blades of the feet. And then notice that energetic lift as you press down, the legs lift up. Let's use the breath here, inhaling, straightening the back, straightening the legs as much as possible. And then exhale and fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and fold. Inhale. Exhale. Good. On your next breath, slowly rise yourself all the way up to stand. Turn the right toes to the front of the mat and bend in for our warrior two legs. Keep the hands on the hips for now. We're just going to stay here, just doing the lower body to start. Inhaling, straightening that front leg, and exhaling, leaning in. So the outer blade of the back foot is also pressing into the mat. Keep that focus through the front foot, but also keeping that back leg straight and strong by pressing into the earth. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale and exhale. Come to lean that front forearm onto the thigh and then inhale the arm up and exhale it around, taking big sweeping circles with that top shoulder. As you move here and breathe, can you also stay connected to where your feet touch the mat. So stay conscious and aware of that big toe, that ball of the foot pressing into the mat, the outer blade of that back foot. Keep breathing. Last one. Inhale, take a big circle, come all the way up and out, straightening the arms and straightening the legs. And then reach forward, we tip into our triangle pose. The front hand finds that front shin and the top arm extends towards the sky. Breathing here. Good, reaching up and out. Bring the hands back to the hips as we change the legs. Come to our warrior two on the opposite side, bending into that front knee. Breathing here, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And then inhale, straighten. Exhale and lower. Maybe even closing down the eyes, if that helps you to connect more fully with the earth beneath you. One more here. Good. Bending into that front knee. Bring that left forearm onto the thigh. Inhale the arm up. And then we start to take those big circles all the way around. Staying connected with the mat. Really leaning firmly into those connection points through the feet. And then following the breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Last one here. Lift yourself up and out, straighten both arms, straighten both legs, and then we reach forward and tip into our triangle. Bottom hand rests on the shin, reach that top arm up. Again, that connection with the floor stays strong, almost like the feet are squeezing in towards each other. Breathing here. Good. Bend back into that front knee as you bring the hands down to the mat. And we walk our hands all the way back to the middle, using the hands to support to come all the way down and have a seat. Come to sit cross-legged or whatever is comfortable for you as we take some pelvic circles. Just rolling the body around. In one direction and then the other. Again, noticing where your body connects with the earth. So the sit bones, the fleshy parts of the thigh and buttocks. And maybe those connection points move as you rock and roll. Good, coming back to center. And then I want you to either cross the feet at the ankles. So this is sort of option one if hips are really tight. If you can, you could bring the top ankle onto the opposite knee so the knee and ankles are stacked. And then bring the hands towards the floor, and maybe this is enough. As you sit tall and press those sit bones in towards the mat, you should feel the hips getting a nice gentle stretch here. If you want a little bit more, you could start to lean forward, and you could use that breath again, inhaling to lift and exhaling to fold really gently. Good. Come to sit back upright. Let's change the cross of the legs. So whichever one was on the top now becomes on the bottom. Maybe staying with the same option that you were on the other side, or leaning in. You might have more space on one side than the other. Good, release the legs. We're going to come all the way down now into our Shavasana. And as we are almost about to head into the second trimester, I want to encourage you to start doing your Shavasana in a side lying position. Of course, for some women, laying on their backs throughout their whole pregnancy remains fine. Others need to support with something under that right side. But for everyone, it is safe to side lie during pregnancy, and it's often more comfortable for your hips. I often like to bring a bolster so that that top leg can be supported. This also usually keeps you in a nice stacked position with the hips on top of each other. You could even put pillows between the knees if that feels nice, so that the knees and the ankles are in alignment. And then anything you want under the head, it could just be your hand. You could bring a pillow under. Basically bring all the props in now to get yourself comfortable. Let the belly be soft. Just before we head into our relaxation today, we need to focus on a 3-part breath. So as you inhale, breathe into the lower belly. And then breathe into the side ribs. And then breathe into the top of the chest. As you exhale, exhale from the top of the chest, the side ribs, the low belly. And again, breathe into the low belly, the side ribs, the top of the chest. Breathe out from the top of the chest, the side ribs, and the low belly. You can keep breathing this way throughout our whole relaxation today, or just let your breath find its own rhythm, whatever feels best for you. As we rest here, just allow yourself to notice anything that might be going on or any sensations that you're feeling in the body. Often our practice of yoga is simply a practice of noticing, reassuring ourselves that everything we feel is okay. No feeling is too big for us. Our feelings are simply created from our thoughts. Keep breathing here. Time now to start bringing yourself back. You might like to stretch long. Every side out. And when you're ready, slowly bringing yourself back up. Just coming up to have a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to heart. We bow down the head. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this week. I hope you enjoyed this class. Remember, you can come back to it as many times as you need, and I hope to see you again next week. Peace.